My sweet suffering, all my sorrow. I share them with you. Let's duel!
Welcome to this installment of the Digimon 30-Day Challenge as part of Digimon Month 2019 here on the Code Crown YouTube channel. Originally, I found this on Twitter via the user Dorumiko, and while I completed this challenge back from September to October 2018, I thought it might be fun to do it over for Digimon Month 2019 and have the chance to expand on some of my answers outside the limits of the Twitter text limit, as well as maybe see if my answers have changed or evolved since then. Puns. So let's get cracking with today's question.
Day 7 asks, what is a coupling that you cannot stand? And, well, Digimon doesn't play with coupling enough for me to have one I don't really like. I guess maybe I and Haru, or maybe Mimi and Miyako. More so Haru and I, because I never does anything to warrant Haru's crush on her. She's always just sort of there. Like, even later on in the show when she finds out about the Appmon and they're using the basement of her family bookshop as a secret base. She's always just there for someone to get, as someone for Haru to get blushy over. But that quickly also sort of goes out the window as the show moves on and Yujin becomes more of a central character because, let's face it, we all know the real couple in Appmon is Haru and Yujin. I mean, that's just... You can't tell me otherwise.
And then there's the couplings that I just don't like because well, fandom has put me off them. Whether hammering home the point of why these two should be together, or just throwing the cannon out. And I understand how much of a hypocrite that sentence alone makes me, throwing the cannon out the window when I talk about Tai and Sora. And yeah, that was really only in the dub rather than the sub. The context was laid on a bit more thick in the dub, but it was what I grew up with, so unfortunately, not a whole lot I can do there. But pairings like Mimi and Miyako, Daisuke and Hikari, Junpei and Izumi, Rio and Ruki. I don't really like any of them. Junpei because he's a big creep. Let's face it, he is a big old creep. By modern standards, I didn't like the character when I was younger. These days, I certainly don't like it any more than I did back then. Rio and Ruki, oh, he's the king and she's the queen, and they're blah, 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 blah. No, you get a much better character dynamic personally out of something like Takato and Ruki because the polar opposites thing, they really play off each other. Um, and I kind of like Takato and Jury, but Jury I think is just too quiet. And then with everything she goes through, I don't want to pair Jury with anybody just because of everything she goes through in that show. I don't think it's right to sort of go, no, you're in a relationship with this person. Maybe if there's a Tamer sequel eventually when Bandai stops milking the adventure cow and we get something as a follow up to Tamers, that'd be awesome, and I could reevaluate my decision then. But based on the information we have now,
I don't really feel I could morally pair Jury up with anybody, Takato or otherwise. Frontier I've touched on. Savers. Eh, the, hmm. Aside from, I mean, Toma and Nanami, I mean, that character dynamic and relationship I think is amazing, and they could have done so much more with it. But outside that, I mean, you could pair Masaru with Yoshino, I guess, at a stretch. It just there's not enough there to work with, so I've nothing I'm outwardly against. Um, Cross Wars, Christopher and Christopher, jeez, Kiriha and Nene. Meh. Taiki and Nene is my preferred go-to. Um, much more so. Yeah, Taiki and Akari, that can die in a fire. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like. I think it's to do with the Akari character, but I just no. If the creator originally thought putting Tai and Sora together was too cliche, Taiki and Akari I think takes that up to 11. So I'll pass on that one. Taiki and Nene though, that's I think you're onto something good there. I genuinely do. I think you're onto something quite special with that with the right writing. Um, I think I've covered everything then from Adventure through Applemon. So yeah, I don't know. Look, I'm just one guy on the internet. My opinions, you take them seriously, or if you want, or just take this for the bit of fun that it is. I'm not telling you not to like a certain thing. I'm just saying I don't get it, or I've been put off it. So, there's that. But look, drop down in the comments who your favorite couple in the franchise is. Let me know why, and maybe let's start a bit of dialogue down below. And I will see you back here tomorrow with episode 8. I hope you're enjoying this. Take care. Adios. So, a bit of an addendum to this episode, just because I realized I mentioned Daisuke and Hikari, and I mentioned Mimi and Miyako, and I immediately went into why Junpei's a bit of a creep. Daisuke and Hikari, I just don't like Daisuke as a character, and I don't think he meshes well romantically with any of the other Digidestined characters, particularly Hikari, who he's very obsessive with for the good first 2/3 of the show. He eventually backs off, but uh, I I didn't like the couple as a kid. I was always a TK and Kari person as a kid, and I still am. And sure, there's a lot of my personal bias in this. And as I said before, you don't have to agree with me on these things. Hell, I welcome the discussion on why I'm wrong about such and such. Let's get some discourse going. But people are vehement about this, like scary. And Mimi and Miyako, I don't know. I'm all for more representation. I would like more than Haru and Eugene to be the only potential LGBT couple in the franchise. Come on, I said at the start, said at the start of the video. Tell me they're not. I mean, you probably have reasons for thinking they're not, but in my opinion, they are. And in the same respect, other people think Mimi and Miyako are. Just based on that one episode of 02, but it's not a pairing. It's not a pairing I like because I've seen people get toxic over it, and it's just put me off the idea. No problem with them, and I suppose they could be kind of cute together, but I've just seen people get toxic over it, and that's yeah. I mean, and that's sort of a lot of the couples I have on this list. When the fandom are, let's say, overly enthusiastic about them, I tend to shut off. And I totally understand how hypocritical I am about the Tai and Sora thing in saying that, because I would be part of the fan base that turns other people off the idea of Tai and Sora. So it is this cyclical thing, and it's all opinion and conjecture. So please, if you disagree, let me know down below, and let's get some discussion going. And I'll see you back here for episode 8 tomorrow.